Change of plans. Hold on.
My first children's film festival was this summer at Ajyal, and it was one of the highlights of my career so far, and I told the organizers, please bring me back. And then one of the people that organized that festival called me and said, there's another one happening in Doha, would you like to go? And I jumped at the opportunity. I have been so surprised and fascinated by the melting pot of humanity that is Qatar. There are people from everywhere in the world living here together, and it's beautiful.
Look, I do it myself. I'm a doctor, but I just can't reach it.
To sew that up.
The most important part of my job is to always be myself. From the performance in front of the camera to the media and the red carpets and how you dress and, you know, all these pressures that come on you when you become an actor. The north point for you has to be knowing yourself and staying true to yourself and not trying to be something you think the world wants you to be. I think I'd always been a bit of a snob, thinking books were sort of the ultimate way of telling stories. And I think I thought of film as being the lazy version of that for the viewer. That was before I got into the industry and started getting really introduced to groundbreaking filmmakers. Cassavetes was probably the director who first really made me sit back and realize what an artist he was and what you're doing with this medium in exploring human nature through all of the senses, and how if you can make someone for a moment forget that they're watching a movie and really believe that they're watching through a window into another life, that can be transformative. Hello. I was a kid who was raised very Christian, and I had this impression that Hollywood was the devil. So when I entered the industry, I was still under that illusion. What I realized once I got deeper and deeper into the industry, I realized that I was working with some of the brightest, most creative, most educated, and talented people I'd ever met. For the conservative parents out there, from a conservative girl who went into the industry pretty skeptical, I can say that it is actually a much purer art form than I thought it was. There's a lot of very intelligent, really good intentions in a lot of filmmakers just wanting to put positive messages into the world and in some ways to instill morals in people.